But it's disaster. They came here just...
The 5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino in-laws. My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean.
No, Chad. I love that your name is Chad. Please, let me explain to people what you mean when you say your Filipino wife has become Americanized. What you mean by that is that you never thought that you would be the one to lose the control in the relationship, right? Because you were the big, rich American that went to the Philippines and found some young girl who's, 30 years your junior, who I'm guessing didn't come from a ton of money and didn't have a ton of opportunities, and you essentially entered into this business agreement with her, right?
It's still relatively early in the day, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I made this video about this turkey who was on World Star Hip Hop, and he claimed, I was devastated by a Filipino who left me for Christmas and this, that, and the other, right? And I think most people who saw the video, because the video did get a lot of views, most people, their initial reaction was to say, you were stupid for bringing her back to America. And yeah, this is your fault. And a lot of them were basically like, never bring them back. And they were basically putting it on her as if she was like a gold digger and an opportunist and everything. The problem is that on closer inspection, basically I'm forced to side with her because this guy's a jerk. Now, they have a TikTok channel. Each one of them has a TikTok channel. And when you go to their TikTok channel, this dude persists in airing out his dirty laundry for everybody to hear. So it's not as if this is private. He's airing it out, right? And by him constantly making videos, it's also prompted her to constantly make videos to explain. And from what I've seen, it looks like most of the real passport bros, because this guy is not a passport bro. This guy is a moron who went overseas. He got the youngest chick he could get, got pregnant, got children with her, and then was surprised that because of his own bad attitude and his own tasteless, his own tone-deaf dealings with her and her family, that she decided that she was going to leave his ass. And again, upon closer inspection, I'm forced to agree with her. So he published a couple of videos, and so did she, and I was listening to both sides of the story. And then I was looking at the comments, and a lot of the comments, especially from these women, most of them were probably single and unmarried. But anyway, most of these women were leaving comments basically chastising him and saying, the best thing you could have done was make these videos because all you've done is help her case in court when she divorces your ass. And I started listening. I started listening to his videos. I started listening to her videos. And I'm forced to come back to my initial belief. Yeah, you're not a passport bro. You're an idiot. And the thing about it is, he put this video out talking about the things that he did wrong when they did that Disney World trip. So I'm going to let him say it himself, so you won't say that I'm embellishing. But number one, his Filipino in-laws, for example, they left food out. And this is something a lot of Filipinos do. They leave food out, and they don't always... When I cook anything, I don't leave the food out. I put it in the refrigerator almost immediately, after I'm done with it, right? But Filipinos tend to leave stuff out. So he called her in-laws slobs for leaving the food out. Instead of just saying, I've got this refrigerator and this freezer. Just package the stuff and put it in as soon as you're done with it. He didn't do that. He called them slobs. That's number one. Number two, the father, I think, wanted to drive a car or something, and this guy snatches the keys from the father. Number three, he got into an argument with the mother-in-law, and he said, F you too. And when I say F you, I'm shortening it from fuck. He said, fuck you too. I should have just said that first, but with censorship, you just never know. So anyway, how you going to tell your mother-in-law that? And he probably, based upon what I've been hearing and based upon what he's been admitting, it sounds like this guy is this guy's an asshole. And the thing about it is, I guess it's well, you know what? Let him say it. I'll let him say it.
Herself under the covers and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's my husband." What? Hey everybody, Chad2dad here. What's really surprising me are the passport bros, the passport bro community coming at me as hard as the bitter divorcees, saying that I'm giving up the gig, that I'm ruining it for them, that I'm giving the bitter has-beens too much ammunition and fodder, that it's been quiet for a little while in the passport bro world.
Now, by the way, I refute. First of all, this is a white man. You're not a passport bro. You're a passport Joe. That's number one. I'm not lumping you in at all. And now you've even strengthened my resolve to make sure that I continue with that rhetoric. I'm never lumping you in. That's number one. Number two, the passport bro community, when we look at Check in Effect or we look at Zoom to Thailand, the black male passport bro experience has been completely different than the passport Joe experience. See, the passport Joes, they used to basically be mostly military men or mostly expats who would travel abroad. They'd snatch up these young chicks. But the difference was back then there was no internet. Or at least you didn't have young females on the internet constantly talking on TikTok and on YouTube and stuff. So they were able to get away with a lot more than they'd be able to get away with now. The difference is now, these young chicks in these other countries, they're all on TikTok for the most part. So they're seeing dudes just like this, and they're trying to figure out how do they game a dude just like this so that they can get what they want out of him. And if they love him, they're going to stay with him. But if they don't love him, they want to be able to make a quick, clean divorce after they get their green card or whatever it is. It's dudes just like this who do bring a bad name to the traveling expat community. This guy is no passport bro at all. And I'm glad that the other passport bros have rejected him because, again, upon closer inspection, this guy's a jerk. But I'll let him say it.
And so this is the chickens coming home to roost. You know, this is the shoe dropping. All the bros that went out during pandemic, you know, to get their bride and come back and are all starting to have problems. No, I don't know. Okay, I'm just being honest about the problems that I'm having with JN. And I don't know if it has anything to do with passport bros or just us as individuals.
Now, first of all, I'm going to skip to the next video where he specifically outlines some of the things, not all of them, because he's got even more videos. And basically, you can watch the behavior of this guy yourself. Like, you could go to their channels, you can watch the behavior of this guy yourself. So I'm just going to skip to the next video where he literally outlines the things he feels he did wrong. I'll try to skip around.
But it's disaster. They came here just...
The 5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino in-laws.
Now, if you came up with a list of 5 things, first of all, that was like 4 things too many. And then on top of that, obviously, this is a normal occurrence with this guy.
Now, I qualify Filipino because different cultures get disrespected in different ways. So don't come at me for being a racist. This is the context. Hi, Chad2dad here. Had a horrible Disney World experience with my...
All right, let me skip ahead because I don't want to play too much of this bullshit. But let me skip ahead to number 1.
In-laws to disrespect my Filipino sister. Number 1, I did not eat the food that they cooked. It wasn't because I didn't like it, and it wasn't because I wasn't hungry. It's because I protested. I didn't eat the food that they cooked.
Now, anybody who's dealt with Asian people knows that when you go over to their house, you're expected to eat the food they cook. Now, granted, if you're a vegetarian or if there's certain things you're allergic to, yeah, you cannot eat certain things. But like, for example, I went over to, when I lived in China, one of my friends invited me to his house, and his mother cooked food for me. And she made jellyfish, and I didn't even know what the hell it was, but, I still, sat there, tried it. I ate all of her food. It wasn't the best. I mean, because when you're over in China, it's like there's a lot of restaurants and you keep trying different restaurants and the food is absolutely fantastic. Her food was good. It wasn't the best, but she had some weird ass stuff on that table. She had eel, she had jellyfish. This is a Chinese woman goes to the store and she's buying like fish that's fresh and she's buying all types of living shit. Like she would have cooked Pikachu and you're expected to eat it. And if she had cooked Pikachu and I see Pikachu there and his head is cut off and Pikachu is all sliced up like turkey, I would have tried it just to be respectful, even if I didn't like it. And who knows, maybe I would have liked it. But this guy, and okay, so this is not a major disrespect, but it is something that is disrespectful in the Asian culture. If she makes Pikachu, you're expected to eat it.
And then number 2, when they left the food out on the table, that stayed out all day. When we came back from one of the Disney World days, I called them slobs for leaving.
Yeah, that's really going to go over well with your in-laws. You're going to call them slobs. That's really going to go over well. Brilliant guy. Brilliant, smart guy, genius.
The food out. Number 3. I clapped sarcastically when Mama finally stepped in and helped Jayan by bathing the kids after a long day. I clapped loud and long and sarcastically.
Okay, so your in-law is over there. She's trying to help take care of the kids. And you're clapping. Like, this is how you're clapping. And you're clapping sarcastically to insult your wife when the in-law mom steps in. Really? There's just some people who are arrogant and there's some people who are stupid. And when you factor in arrogance plus stupidity, it just never turns out well. This guy, he set himself up.
Number 4, I snatched the keys out of Papa's hands. He spent his morning loading the car up, getting ready to go back to Georgia. And he went to hand the keys to me and I just snatched them out of his hand and went down to start the car. And number 5.
Snatching things out of people's hands is just rude. And this guy is obviously rude. And you got to admit, if he did this with them, what does he do with her privately? I think this is just another entitled Joe. And he just did it to himself. I feel bad for the children, having to deal with a father like this. I really do. But, there's nothing I can really do about it. They live far away and all that. And I'm pretty sure when she goes to court, she's got pretty much all the ammunition she needs. And he's done. And he's going to end up paying child support. And she'll move on. Who knows what she'll do. But, he did it to himself.
5. I told Ate, fuck you too, when she said that I was being a bad host.
So these people came to your house, you're being a jerk, and when they say that you're being a bad host, you tell fuck you. Okay? I've already made my case. There's nobody who can come at me and say that I'm being unfair. I've made the case. He made the case for me, and I presented his case. And now, as you can see, this is what you got. So let me just say this. What he's done, basically, is he strengthened my resolve. I will never consider you a passport bro now. I will never considering you a passport bro. I'm going to continue to refer to you as what you are. You're a passport Joe. Yes, you're an asshole. And when she divorces you, she's going to win. And she's going to get what she needs. You brought her here. You thought that you had a nice young slave, and you screwed up. This should be a lesson for other men who go over there or who go to these other countries. Don't be arrogant. you really, really shouldn't be arrogant, because the thing about it is these women are more sophisticated thanks to TikTok and thanks to freaking Instagram. They're more sophisticated now. They're not going to tolerate it, and even if they do tolerate it, it won't be for very long. You did this to yourself.
All right, that's the facts. That's the truth. Those are the top 5 things that I do.
I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and this needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works.
Everybody, Chad2dad here, coming at you with some more rage bait, which I just simply call the truth in reality. And I'm happy today because I get to spend some time with my son as I do a little remodeling in my basement that I've been hanging out. Now, I saw my wife post on TikTok yesterday, I think it was.
All right, so long story short, he goes in, and this is probably where I'm going to stop, because a lot of this you can watch yourself. But what he basically says is his job as a provider is to provide the things that she needs and that the kids need. But if she wants stuff, she needs to get a job and she needs to provide her wants. Now, that I don't really have too much of a problem with, but that's something that's like a contract in between these two people. But that's something she needed to sign on to, and she said, okay, well, I appreciate you for taking care of my needs. And when it comes to wants, the problem is nowadays a lot of people they confuse wants with needs. I will never, ever consider luxury items to be needs. You don't need luxury items. Bottom line. Somehow, T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, somehow they convinced these stupid parents that cell phones are a need. These kids played along with it and suckered these stupid parents into believing that cell phones and smartphones are needs. Now, there were some schools that were authoritative enough, for example, to say, you're not bringing that shit in here. No cell phones, no smartphones in school. The ones that weren't smart enough to do that have allowed these kids to be on TikTok all goddamn day. They learn nothing. They go to school. They do nothing. They learn nothing. You ask them to see a notebook. There's nothing to show. There were some schools that said, no, we're not allowing that to happen. In fact, I think it was Florida or Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, that just banned. No. It was Florida, because if Georgia had done it, all these black parents would have rioted. Yeah, and I can say that because I'm black and ain't nothing you could do about it. In Florida, I think it was DeSantis who banned, I think it was social media, and there's a couple other countries that ban social media. It's just like I talk about the Chinese. They don't want their kids turning out to be idiots. So what they did, they turn off the internet during certain periods of time. There's no internet gaming during certain periods of time. They expect you to be studying. That's number one. Number two, they banned effeminate males off of television. They want their males to grow up masculine. The third thing was, if you have any internet access that says anything negative about China, they ban it. They ban it. And it's just that simple. Now, America has the First Amendment, so that's something that they probably wouldn't be able to do here. Like, if you had other countries talking shit about America, I guess it would get through. I don't think they're necessarily going to ban it, but, they're always going to paint it as, yeah, those are just third world losers, so, whatever, who cares what they think. But the bottom line is, these people are looking out for their people, right? I say that to say this. There's certain things that are wants and there's certain things that are needs. Your children don't need smartphones. Now, when it comes to these foreign women, the first thing they're going to ask you for, and I said this before, is an iPhone. That's the first thing they're going to ask you for. Oh, you say, we really want an iPhone. Would you get me an iPhone? iPhone 16. Yes, it has camera button. I want to have iPhone. So the first thing you're going to have to buy, if you get a foreign wife or foreign chick, the first thing you're going to have to get her for her birthday or Christmas or whatever it is that they celebrate is an iPhone. You're going to have to buy an iPhone. Chances are she probably already has an Android phone and it's a piece of shit. Now, let's say you go to the Philippines. When I went to the Philippines, I actually made videos going to their cell phone stores. They got Cherry Mobile. They got Oppo and all that garbage, like that Android garbage that China churns out 24/7. Like, you see how you can go and buy a $500 television that's like 100 inches, that TCL or whatever? Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So the first thing your foreign girlfriend gonna ask for is an iPhone. So if you get a foreign chick, just understand it doesn't matter where she's from. Doesn't matter if she's from Philippines, Thailand, Brazil, Cambodia, Laos, Colombia. It doesn't matter where she's from. Dominican Republic. You go to Dominican Republic, the girls got Blackberries and they got Android phones. First thing she going, oh yes, I want. You know what for my birthday? You know what I want? I want the iPhone. I want the iPhone. You're going to have to buy it. So just be prepared. There's a difference between a luxury and a need. You don't need me to go buy you $1,000 phone. And then the question is, if you're with me, what the hell do you need a phone for? No, you want that so you be on TikTok shaking your ass, probably trying to figure out if you can get a guy richer than me by shaking your ass and advertising your ass on TikTok. That's what you're really doing. This guy bought into her luxury desires, but his philosophy was, okay, listen, if you want luxury items, you're going to have to go work and buy that shit yourself. In fact, in his own words, he said, I suggested that you become a landlord and that, you do tax reduction and all that shit in order to save money to buy the stuff that you really want, like Gucci bags and Prada and Femi and all that nonsense. So I got to agree with him there. But the thing about it is, considering this guy's a jerk, I'm pretty sure he didn't present it as well as I'd present it. So let me just let him just say it real quick.
She has to ask permission to get money. Yeah, actually, that's true. And when I thought about it, I realized that was pretty fucking embarrassing.
No, what's embarrassing is that you're airing your dirty laundry out on the freaking internet. You should, between you and your wife, I shouldn't know what's going on between you. Like, it's kind of obvious and it's kind of simple. I shouldn't know what's going on between the two of you. You're broadcasting this shit on TikTok. She's broadcasting this shit on TikTok. The whole world is like looking at this now. Like, why do we know this? It's like, we're not supposed to know what's going on behind your closed doors in your big house that you love so much.
It's not like I spend a lot of money on myself. I don't go drinking with the boys or golfing or play video games, stuff like that. See, my philosophy is the money that I earn is the family's money. There's no mine and all that. But, what she said was pretty triggering. So I want to tell you something. I've come up with a plan. And the plan is for Jayanne to earn the money that she wants.
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, if you want money, and you know what? See, and that's part of the problem. You see, most of these passport bros, especially after seeing this video, they basically have all adopted the terminology, don't bring them back, right? They're saying, okay, you go over to her country, you marry her, you stay over in her country, and you live there. Sooner or later, she's going to probably want to come back to America. Sooner or later, the kids are probably going to want to come back to America. But everybody now they're starting to adopt this strategy, don't bring them back, right? It's just like that video I showed of that dude on 90 Day Fiancé who had the lady boy. He wanted to go over to that country and stay there because here he ain't got nothing. He's like broke, he's poor, he's homeless. And everybody's basically saying the same thing, don't bring them back. Now, if you're in a situation where you have no choice but to bring them back, if she comes here, the first thing you need to do is she needs to have a job. It would be a blessing if you met a chick who had a job where she can work internationally. I have a male relative who married a foreign chick, and she had an international job. And it's telemarketing. And it wasn't really telemarketing. It was more like telemarketing and training. And their marriage has worked out just fine. She was always working. Her family was always working. They had a work culture. And they've been married for it's 2024 now. They've been married since 2011. So they had a very good marriage, 3 kids. Everything's been fine. Sometimes you can't stay in another country. Sometimes it may become necessary for you to bring them back. But the thing about it is, what you don't do as an old man, this guy is 58, and he probably met her about 5 years ago. What you don't do is you don't bring back a young chick. That's just stupid, because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for her to come here. And if you do put her on a job, she's going to meet a guy her age. And next thing you know, she's going to be cheating on you. And let's say you're in her country and she does that, it's easier to cut ties with her. You'd be like, okay, you're cheating on me, goodbye, And chances are, especially with Filipino culture, if you have a Filipino girlfriend, all of her female friends are going to be floating around you. And the thing about it is, some of them are going to be in your DMs. Some of them will be talking to you on the phone, and they don't even let her know that they be texting you. They be going through your photos, and they find out everything about you, because they assume that if she can get a guy like you, that there's more guys like you who are your friends with, like your network opportunity. Some of them get in your DMs. They like, oh, can I borrow money? I'm sorry to bother you. I just asked to borrow some money. And the thing about it is, most dudes ain't going to give up that money unless she's giving up the honey. So the reality is, it gets very, very, what's that word Jada Pinkett Smith used? She said some entanglements. Yeah, it gets very complicated. You get into these entanglements, So the bottom line is, she should have a job. She should be working. She should be able, first of all, she's going to use you for her baseline of support. And then her money is going to be her money. That money, hey, listen, she can send that back to her parents, because that's what she's going to do. She's going to send her parents $100 or $200 a month or whatever it is. In the Philippines, that's a lot of money. The average Filipino only makes about $10,000 per year. If she comes here, is living off you, and she gets a job making $30,000 or $40,000 a year, or even let's say she makes $50,000 a year, if she sends home even a fraction of that, if she sends home $10,000, that's her parents' retirement plan right there. And that's the scary thing about it. There are some Filipinos, including Filipina P, who've made videos where they've detailed the fact that Filipino parents be using their kids as a goddamn retirement plan. That's just how they do it. And a lot of women here, foreign women, they are typically remitting money back to their parents. That's the word is remittance. So I don't totally disagree with him in this aspect. The problem is, knowing what I know about this guy, I think that when he presented this to her, he probably didn't do it tactfully.
And how are we going to do that? She started a business. She started a business as a landlord. That way, she can file taxes and contribute to Social Security. She needs to do that anyway to become a U.S. citizen and learn responsibility with money.
All right. First of all, responsibility with money is antithetical to women. Women are not responsible with money. That is part of the reason why, out of the close to $2 trillion of student loans, it's actually more like 1.8. But out of $1.8 trillion we have of student loans, women hold about 2/3 of that. They will drive themselves deep into debt over Coach bags, Gucci bags, Prada shoes, Manolo Blahniks. They will drive themselves deep into debt, and then they'll try to get with a man and push that debt off on him. That's how it pretty much works. Dowries and bride prices have always existed for a reason. The man was basically expected to pay to get into her pants and into the family. So responsibility with money is something like women just don't typically have. Then I looked at the comments on this video. The first 2 comments that showed up are mine, so I'm just going to skip over those. That's my classic marriage is an insurance policy on a woman's rapidly depreciating market. Let me go to the women. It says, when the person who makes the money is the only person that controls the money and makes the rules about the money, it's called financial abuse. Bullshit! Bullshit! When the person who makes the money is the only person who makes the money and controls the money, That's called like marriage. That's how these women have been beating these guys in court. He's financially abusing me. He was abusive. He was over control. So basically, when you wanted to take my credit card and go out and buy some goddamn Manolo Blahniks or some Coach bag or Gucci Prada Femi, and I said no, oh, he's controlling. He's abusing me. That's how they've been beating these dudes in court. And dudes just like this, his face is stereotypical of that type of guy. His face is stereotypical of the entire Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein, whatever his name was, and all the rest of these dudes getting hemmed up. This is exactly what happens to them in court. His face is a stereotype. And every time they show, oh, he was abusive, he said, you know what? They called it quid pro quo. That's what they did the same shit to Donald Trump. Oh, he promised this for that. The first time I heard the word quid pro quo was in Hannibal Lecter's movie, Silence of the Lambs. And he was like, quid pro quo, Clarice. You tell me things, I tell you things. Delicious. Quid pro quo. These people have tried to make this a crime, but that's how it's always been. It's not even how it's always been. The president has always had the power to give your country shit and you give us something. So we give you military protection, you give us oil. We give you F-14 fighters, you give us oil. We give, you see what I'm saying? They tried to bring this dude up on charges and they successfully impeached Trump over quid pro quo. That's what this is. That's basically what this is. You give me things, I give you things. That's what this is. If I'm making the money, I determine how the money is spent. This whole bullshit, like if I'm a multimillionaire and I'm worth multiple millions of dollars and you come into a relationship with me, that doesn't mean that you get a gold or you don't get my Amex Centurion card and you get to run out some goddamn fucking Coach bags and Manolo Blahniks and Prada and Gucci Femi and all that. No, that's not how this works. But the women here, like Nia right here, Nia seems to think differently. Nia, Miss 297 people followed. She thinks differently. She says, ladies, this is why you build your own career and money prior to marriage. Financial independence is freedom. Well, guess what, Nia? The women who build their own career and money prior to marriage, those are the same women crying on TikTok right now. I'll show you a video of that about the men not wanting them. The Japanese, for example, like, let me tell you a little story about the Japanese. The Japanese, for example, after a woman turns 25, if she's not married, Japanese call these women Christmas cake. Why? Because after the 25th of December, if you've gotten these gifts of cake, the problem is that nobody wants to eat the cake after they've gotten so many gifts of rum cake and Christmas cake. So nobody wants to eat it anymore. So the Japanese specifically refuse to marry these women after they're like 25. The Chinese have a term for them. They call them shengyu. They say you're a leftover woman, right? And now a lot of American women are wondering why it is that men are ignoring them after, they're in 30, 35, 37. And the women are crying, oh, the guys won't talk to me, they ignoring me, and blah, blah, blah. I'm making them invisible. And the Japanese have already said, listen, after you're 25, I ain't even looking at it. Like, you're invisible. You're like a Klingon ship with a cloaking device. You're invisible. Now, if you ask one of these Japanese men, you say, excuse me, you got all these women in your country and they don't have men. Why aren't you marrying these women? Like, why don't you marry one of these Christmas cakes? If you're looking for women, why do you have to go to Burma, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos? Why do you have to go to Southeast Asia to get wives? Why don't you just marry one of those Christmas cakes? Well, that Japanese man, he's going to look you in the eyes And he's going to say, no! No! What the Christmas killer? No! No! Okay, so anyway, this next one, this is crazy. And the fact that you think that the fact that you think what you're saying is okay, crazy. You need therapy. Now, I actually agree with him on this point. As a man, I'm supposed to take care of the family's needs. If you want all that extra bullshit, you're supposed to go out and get a job or whatever, and you can buy that stuff yourself. I'm not supposed to have to take care of wants, because you're going to come to me with stupid, expensive desires that I shouldn't have to pay for. But anyway, I'm confused. You said it's family money, but then she has had to earn it. Like, this guy obviously failed English, like 101. He didn't even start with a capitalized I in the I'm very disappointed in you. Black Fury. But then it says, which is it? Could you discuss spending limits and when you need to discuss purchase? And he spelled purchases wrong. And responsibilities. Oh my God. And he got 589 comments. Likes, I should say. You know, and it's funny, they count the likes, but they don't count the dislikes. This is why I hate social media in the worst goddamn possible way. It reinforces stupidity. It just bothers me. But anyway, may this kind of love never find me. I'm pretty sure it probably won't. Who is this? What the hell? This guy is jacking off a frog? What the hell is this guy doing?
Go
Watch
ahead.
till the end.
What you got to bring to me in bed? Hi, Bubbles. Do you want to share my...
All right, you know what? Okay, snug light. Yeah, okay. I think I went a little too far. This guy's got 1,944 likes. And this guy is playing with frogs. It's like, what? Anyway, you paying for a nanny and housekeeper and her getting any job she wants is better. You just want control. You're a jerk. Okay? You can tell that's a woman. Every day I am so glad I'm not with someone like this. Bless up. Okay? Yuck. Her and the kids deserve better. 1835 likes. I've been married for 20 years, and my husband has never asked me to get a job to cover my wants. I'm blessed to have... Well, we don't know what your wants are, and we don't know how expensive they are. But anyway, I'm blessed to have a husband who takes care of me, and I'm so grateful for him because he takes care of your wants. Oh, that's wonderful. She is an adult, not your child. You are describing coercive control. You see? That's some more bullshit. This is how they get you in court. They come into court with all these adjectives and shit. Oh, he is financially abusing me. He's coercively controlling me. And the next thing you know, you're screwed and you're paying child support and she's screwing somebody else and living in probably the house that you paid for. This is why I will always have a job. Okay, you're supposed to always have a job. So I'm going to give you a like for that. Okay. A wife should be paid to be a mother. You see? Now who's this right here? What's she? Look at this. D, and she's an old woman. I don't know if she's married or not because her account's private. Well, whatever. I'll imagine she's probably not. But anyway, a wife should be paid to be a mother. It's hard work. Being up kids is not 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's 24/7. She carried them and birthed for you. I can't wait for her to take them away from you permanently. You see? This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking. And she only got 135 likes. I'm going to put a dislike right there, but they don't count them because social media sucks. Okay, controlling and distributing. What? Distributing? My wife and I have our own jobs and money. We both buy what we want without consulting anyone. If either of us were the only income, we would come together to decide where the money goes. I'm going to give you a like. I'm going to give you a thumbs down. Okay. I need to thank you for making my ex-husband look better every day. Thumbs down. Okay. You make me appreciate my husband so much more. Okay, I'm going to give you a like. How can she earn money when she is taking care of the house and the 2 kids? Even if you are the one earning, do you really think her job at home is not tough? In their minds, being a housewife is a job. As you can see, like I've pretty much made the case. As you can see, in their minds, being a housewife is a tough job and not everybody can do it and they deserve a salary. And considering how stupid these liberals are at this point, they probably think they deserve $15 an hour. It's like, guess what? You're not getting it. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Yes, you should pay her. She should have a monthly allowance or bi-weekly to spend or save as she wants. If she wants to get out of the house, have a lunch date, she shouldn't have to ask for money. You are... and then it just cuts off. I think TikTok has a word limit. Let me give that a thumbs down. Wow. Wow. Okay, I think I'll give that a like. Wait, what? She does way more work taking care of kids than any normal job. She deserves just as much of your money as you do. She is taking care of your kids. This is why it's important to talk about financial obligations before entering a marriage so you avoid people like this guy. Okay, I'm going to give that a like because that's actually technically true. May this type of love and relationship never locate me. Okay, yeah, okay. I don't think it will. As a stay-at-home mom, I was in charge of the money, and I decided how much money my husband and I could spend. And my husband always said that I worked way harder than him, and I deserved to be paid well. That guy was a simp, so let me just give you a thumbs down. Lily Noah says, I cannot. Wow. It's like video after video, my jaw keeps dropping and dropping. Let's see her jaw. Let's see, Sophia Bakary. Okay. I can tell you're not married. Okay, let's see. I don't understand why you can just allocate a budget amount for her each month. She can have her own account and be done with it. She can do what she wants with it. Yeah. Great idea. And anytime kids are sick, you leave work. Any appointments they have, you make it work in your schedule. You get up with them and make meals 50% of the time. You grocery shop. You see where this is pretty much going. This TikTok shit, man. This shit is a mess, man.
But
This is absolute mess. Let's
Happy New Year.
this guy has been posting all these stupid ass videos.
It's the morning of New Year's Eve.
Okay, yeah, he's been going strong.
Well, it
on
didn't take long.
TikTok. This guy's been going hard. I guess this must have been 1228. I guess this must have been before shit hit the fan.
Day number 6.
Oh, okay.
We are at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, this was
Parking
before
lot.
shit hit the fan, I guess.
We're about to catch the tram.
Let's do
Yeah,
it. Come
that's
on in.
low.
All right.
The Jurassic
Safety
Park
line
one
experts
where
on the
dinosaur
safety
sneaks
line.
up to you.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
Your
that's
little
lovely.
boots are
Oh, that's
adorable. Wow. You guys are so cute.
Now the dinosaur's
Hey,
supposed
Mr.
to sneak
Expert, let's
up to
face
you.
this way
and
for a
it's
second,
supposed to
okay? Oh,
try to sneak up behind you
perfect.
so you take a photo
Oh,
with
she's
it.
staring at you. High five.
Wait, the
Come over
thing
here,
talks?
buddy. Hi, guys in the exit.
7 a.m., day 5.
All right, you know what? I've had enough of this guy. I've had enough. As far as I'm concerned, you see where this is going. This guy is not a passport bro. He's a passport Joe. He played himself. He was very rude. He was very rude to his in-laws. He was very rude to his wife. And he's paying the price for it. I feel bad, for the children. I wish things didn't have to go that way, but he screwed up. So that's it for now. I could make this long. I'm not going to do that.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain, true pain.
What if I just marry your mom?
What?
Yeah,
My mom?
your mom. She's single.
You want my mom to marry you?
Not like, real marriage, but like marriage on paper, right?
I can't believe him saying this to me. It makes me feel like he cares more to stay in the Philippines instead of marry me.
To be continued.